Hello, and welcome to my prediction episode for the primary happening in Wisconsin on the 5th of April. So, today, the 26th of March, Sanders had some pretty big victories in Alaska, Washington, and it looks like he's going to be pretty victorious in Hawaii as well. And so, going into the state of Wisconsin on the 5th, he has all the momentum in the world. And so my prediction for the Wisconsin open primary is that Bernie Sanders is going to be the winner there by at least 10 percentage points more than Hillary Clinton. Now there's two reasons for this. The first is that Sanders has demonstrated time and again that he can do better than the polling predicts. And the second is that Wisconsin has a couple of things about its demographics that work in Sanders' favor. The first is that Wisconsin is one of the country's biggest producers of cheese and milk, and Sanders, is a senator from the state of Vermont, understands the needs of rural and milk-producing demographics in particular, and Sanders did very well in the state of Vermont. He does very well in these sort of rural states with demographics that are very favorable to him. Uh, Out of the demographics as well, there's a lot of manufacturing workers, there's a lot of union workers, and Sanders does tremendously well with union folk because of his arguments on trade. And he's got a very convincing argument about trade compared to Clinton, which was demonstrated in his win in Michigan, that despite the polls indicating that he would lose in Michigan by a lot, he actually managed to turn that around and won in the state of Michigan when they had their contest. And so my prediction, and I'm very confident in this prediction, is that Bernie Sanders, because of the momentum off of his victories today, will be able to sort of take that momentum and all the fundraising and the support from doing so well and transform that momentum into a win in Wisconsin, because there's just one primary going on the 5th in the state of Wisconsin. That means that up until the 5th, there can be a lot of resources devoted to campaigning in Wisconsin, doing rallies in Wisconsin, doing advertisements and talking, and you know, all the ingredients there are there for a recipe for success given the momentum leading into Wisconsin. It would be one thing if Clinton had won one or two of the contests today, or at least had closer margins, but Sanders had massive victories in Washington and Alaska, and it's looking like he is going to have a pretty big victory in Hawaii as well. And so that all works in his favor. So that means that my prediction is that Sanders will win in the state of Wisconsin. And he'll win by at least 10% more, if not 15% more than Clinton. It's still a long road ahead for the nomination, but he's getting closer in the pledged delegate count. And the closer he gets for pledged delegates, between closing that gap, the more persuasive and convincing his argument is in the superdelegate debate that he can win in both the general election but also in the nominating process. And there's still a whole lot more states ahead, and a lot can happen between now and the end of the primary process and the convention. And so my prediction is that Sanders will win in the state of Wisconsin. And if he wins in the state of Wisconsin, it's going to be a lot more momentum going into the next contest. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens. And today was a very fascinating day in terms of democracy in action. It looks like the western coast and the islands of Hawaii are definitely Sanders supporters in terms of the majority of the total delegate apportionment. So, yeah. Thanks for watching.